piling everybody in. So there will be a focus on the local element. So, advisory board on the governance side, and then funding. Each of these chambers of commerce also will be able to scale this because they'll have their relationships with local sponsors that are wanting to support and bring and raise the visibility of local charities. Additionally, the chambers of commerce will be working with some of the larger organizations as well that will want to sponsor this for others, and we've got a number of those that have already signed up for the local Surprise Regional Chamber of Commerce. Another element to this is the local support as far as the visibility. This is meant not just as a database for people seeking, but as an actual promotional tool. So in Surprise Regional Chamber of Commerce, we have 3 local newspapers who are committed and ready to go at the green light moment to begin on a regular and constant basis to promote Chamber for Good and this concept of donate local. Oftentimes we hear about buy local, but the basis for this entire thing is to make sure that people also think about donate local. Serve those charities that are supporting those in greatest need that live amongst us. And I think the concept is wonderful when it's put into place. And again, I can't say thank you enough to the team for actually carrying out this vision. Everybody has great ideas. You can talk to everybody, they've got a million great ideas, but to actually see it carried out and put into a website would not have happened without your help. So very appreciative of that. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you so much, David. And we really wanted David to share his vision for the sustainability piece because that's how we started. So again, I want to thank my team members, and that wraps it up. I'll open it up for Q&A. Any questions? Back row.
How much do you charge the other chambers, if anything, for licensing fees? So you're working with New Mexico, what kind of fees are associated with that chamber?
Come on, David.
Great question, Line. This $25,000 made out to Dave Moss. The goal from the beginning was to create the technology in such a way that there are no variable costs associated with this to administer. So these chambers of commerce, the goal is to not have a single administrative fee associated with that. Those chambers individually will have some administrative expenses simply because of the time that they'll be spending putting in there. But that's where some of these local sponsors will come in to help promote the ongoing sustainability of the website as well as the advisory board. So there are dedicated resources from local volunteers that are serving on the advisory board. There are dollars coming in from these 2 or 3 key sponsors that will help sustain it. And then there's just donated goodwill from the part of the Chamber of Commerce as well. But we'll keep it free as absolutely long as we can. I don't think it's going to be a problem given the great work that City has done and the vision of the team here as well.
Stephanie.
To date, how much money, time, or items have you guys gone through the website?
That's great. I don't know, Sahil, do you, because it's been live and up for about a week, do we have any numbers? You can quote?
Nothing yet. It's probably going to take us time to start collecting all the data. So
we just don't have the
probably
data
in about
yet.
a month we can
Sure.
collect all the data to know how much money, time, and items we've raised. But the rest, one of the reasons is we don't want to collect data and be like, this is how much we have raised, because the money and everything is going straight to the charity. So it's kind of hard for us to gather all the data because no money is going through us. So I don't know if David can explain it better.
Can I just, one quick, one of the things also to keep in mind with Chamber for Good is one of the typical ways that you gauge the success of a clearinghouse for charities in a directory is how much stuff is going through there. And that in and of itself, that real number tells you are they successful or not. As soon as you make this hyper-local, and you're talking about promoting 10, 15 hyper-local charities, suddenly $10,000 thrown into this monstrous lake is nothing and says you're a failure. $10,000 thrown into these organizations run out of small offices and garages, it increases their marketing budget by 200–300%. So while we'll be tracking that, and we're excited about that, we have the mechanism to be able to do that. Again, our goal is a little bit different than the conventional clearinghouse for charitable organizations and directories and things like that as well. So we will be tracking it, but at the same time, we're having this balance. We don't want the emphasis to be there as much. We want the impact on those local charities to be the big thing.
Do you have a goal
Really don't. At this point, the goal is that these charities, all individually, that will be on the advisory board, are saying, this is working, we've seen our budgets increase by this much, or we're being able to do this program that we weren't being able to do before. So initially, given the size, there will be a lot of anecdotal evidence of whether or not it's actually working. The statistical will follow as we begin to ramp it and scale a little bit more in other communities.
Did that answer it for you, Steph? Okay. Any other questions?
Excellent. Very good. Wonderful start. Wonderful start. We'll take a 10-minute break now. There are still refreshments, and the restrooms over here. We'll start at 9:06. 10 after. 10 after. We'll start at 10 after.
Hey guys. I was just gonna ask. Oh.
Well, I appreciate it.
Really close. Collaborate and talk better about it. They were so close. They went to numbers. That's how they all decided. Very, very broad. And then also.
Hey,
Good
good to
job.
see you.
Nice to see you.
I felt
too.
like
I love this
an honor.
project. One of these days, we're gonna get you.
I tell
You
you.
need to go through.
I want to. I do. I've got to shove a few more things off the plate, and
we
I'm looking forward to
understand.
it.
Yeah, one of these days.
Okay,
I'll
thanks,
see you
man.
later.
See you later.
Hey, I saw you.
I was here earlier.
Oh man, it's just so great to see you.
Good to see you too. I like that. You know, at first I was texting Kelly and I'm like, oh my God, this is your project. You know, the website for all the charities. And then when David got out and really, you know, brought it home, I was like,